Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining in. This weekend, Ryan and I are out with our friends, Evan and Leah. They're finally here in town on their Washington contract.
And their friend Eric, who's a travel nurse, is working in Portland, Oregon. So he's up here also for this camp trip. Real great guy. So we're excited to get to hang out with people.
Yeah.
Other than ourselves.
We get kind of boring after a little bit of time.
I love this life with you.
Dr. Rulis, there's a park ranger that looks like you if you're out there watching. So we are at Staircase Campground. It's in Olympic National Park, and to get here, we've already passed a gorgeous lake.
Oh yeah, Lake Cushman, and it looks like you can use it for like day use. There is some campgrounds around it. Looks like more private campgrounds, but gorgeous. One of those kind of like Crescent Lake at the top of Olympic that we went to earlier on in the season, where like the mountains just kind of fall into the lake. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was really pretty. So today is Saturday. We're getting here early in the morning to snag a camp spot, which we just got lucky with Evan and Leah.
The campground is full because it's a national park campground. Not one of their most popular campgrounds, but it was full. We're coming in on a Saturday.
Yep,
so the odds are very low.
Yeah. Last night we were at a Seattle Mariners game in town, and we saw an awesome baseball game. They ended up winning, and it was a good little back and forth scoring. So we're here this morning. We're going to get set up and then probably hike. And then I'm not sure if we're going to get in the water, or we could travel either an hour south or north to see a couple different things in the park. There's a waterfall up north, and then this bridge down south that looks very interesting. So we may end up visiting those as well.
So today here at Staircase, you will not see an actual staircase, but back in the day in 1890, when Lieutenant O'Neill and his crew came through here in the wilderness, there was no way to get over the bluff that's just across the river from the campground. And so they built a cedar staircase, and that was the only way to get over. And it was actually called the Devil's Staircase because it was kind of a sketchy looking staircase. That has now been taken down, and there is now a new trail called the Shady Lane trail that can bring you around the bluff, and that's how the campground got its name. The first trail we are going to be heading out on today is the Staircase Rapids Loop Trail. One of the more popular ones here. It's just a simple 2-mile loop trail where you get to go through the old growth forest, and then there's even a little spur trail off to a huge fallen cedar tree. Kind of one of the big things with the Olympic National Park, this old growth forest and like the heavy moss on the trees. Like you saw earlier in the season with the Hoh rainforest, very similar here at Staircase, which is south in Olympic National Park.
Look at that huge tree up there. It's like a natural bridge over the water.
Megan surprises me. Sometimes she's a big scaredy cat, and then sometimes she walks out on a huge log across this big river. It's an unpredictable life I live. What's really great about this trail is that it follows along the river, and there's only about 200 feet of elevation gain, which makes it perfect for any type of hiker. And nice easy stroll, only about 2 miles. And so the whole family can come out and enjoy this one. There is a bunch of little places where you can overlook the river, get down to it, and kind of see the rapids. Hence, Staircase Rapids Trail. So we're just about to pass the trail bridge, and that's where it starts to, it cuts across the river you've been following, and then you can turn to the right to continue the Rapids Trail loop and head back towards the campground, or you can turn left, and they actually have tons of miles and miles of backpacking trails out that way. We just got talking to some guys who are doing some trout fishing here at the river, and they said, I mean, there's like, you can do like 2-week-long backpacking trips out into the wilderness. So that's really cool. We are not doing that. We're gonna go back to the nice campground, but this has been a superb trail. That was a great trail. We're now back at the campground, and we're gonna see if the person who was so kind enough to let us have their camp spot tonight is moved out, so we can move our adventure sub in there and get camp set up with all 3 of us.
Hey!
And it looks like it, so I'm going to turn around and go grab the adventure suit. So what are you thinking of our campsite?
This is an awesome campsite. I don't know how Evan, Leah, and Eric scored it, but they scored a good one. It's nice and large. We're basically setting up a perimeter with our hammocks. Like, don't pass this perimeter. I'm a little bummed we can't have a campfire. That was just put in place yesterday or this morning? Yesterday. But this is perfect. And it's so fun that we're sharing it with people and not just by ourselves.
We just got done with some mediocre burgers, some great milkshakes, but now we're gonna go out here to Lake Cushman, which is real close to Staircase Campground. We're gonna get in this water and look at this. This lake is amazing. So when you come out to Staircase, the road runs right along it before you hit the campground. Some amazing views. And you can see the sea back here, how it just falls into the lake. And there's this huge rock up here we're gonna probably go see if we can jump off of. What do you think?
I think it's so beautiful. There's boats out on this lake, so obviously you can put a boat in somewhere, and tons of people just taking their kayaks or their floaties and just hanging out on the water. And it's a beautiful sunny day right here in the mountains, tucked away, and our campsite is not far from here. So it's a great spot. I'm glad we came. So what were we doing? After our hike, and then we went into town to get some lunch. We came back to the campsite, hung out on our hammocks, played some card games, and now we're getting dinner ready. We're just gonna spend the rest of the night chilling, talking to each other, enjoying time together, and we'll see you guys in the morning.
Good morning, everyone. Everyone is slowly stirring at the camp, and I'm getting some coffee ready for everyone up on the stove. And then Megan will eventually come out of the tent, and I think she's got a kind of hash brown eggs kind of mix that she's going to look to make today. We have a few more hours at this campsite. We do got to be out by 11, which is kind of typical for the campsites in the national forests and the national parks. And then I think we're going to go on a hike on the Shady Lane trail hike here, and then possibly head about an hour south to check out a cool old bridge, which I'm not remembering the name of, but it'll be fun to go to. And so we'll get everyone up and packed up and fed, and then ready to explore. What do we got today?
But yeah, I tried a hash brown hash. You're supposed to be able to put it in like a foil pack and then set it on the fire, but we can't burn a fire. So I just put it in pans, cubed up some ham from Boar's Head, added cheese, and then we have eggs on the side if anybody wants eggs.
So we just packed up all of the camp spots, got out of there before 11. We were pushing it a little bit, parked all the cars in the parking lot, and then now we're gonna go on this Shady Lane trail. It's a nice, easy 0.9 mile hike right along the other side of the river from the campground. You're gonna go past the part where the old cedar staircase was, and eventually you get to the 4-stream road, and then if you kept going, you would get to Lake Cushman, where we were at yesterday, jumping in the awesome blue, cold water. This is a great little spot, a little bit less unknown because in Olympic National Park, it's on the south side, and but they do still have quite a few visitors, most of them backpackers. So you can, this is a big trailhead start for a lot of backpackers that go out and do some multi-day to week backpacking trips out into the wilderness as they head north into Olympic National Park a little deeper. All right, we are starting our way out to Vance Creek Bridge. This is a bridge that is actually on private land, but the private landowners and the public committees, they kind of work together to allow people to hike back on this nice trail. It's about a mile and a half to get to the Vance Creek Bridge. And then you can take pictures and look at that bridge there. Then there's also a twin bridge that's about 2 miles down the road that you can actually drive across. So we'll probably go to that also. But for now, we got a little bit of a hike to get to this cool bridge.